What up, everybody? Welcome to Kev Mac Videos. If you haven't already liked the video, please go and like the video. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to click on the bell to get your notifications so you'll know when we post new videos. We also encourage you to leave a comment under the video and let us know what you think about it. The following video is a conversation of Jesse James and Rocchead right after the Jesse James interview.
When you saw structure, when the structure came, a lot of us, I think, we rebelled against it because of the discipline.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's
because now
the
you're held accountable.
Yeah, now you're held accountable. You don't want your ass whooped.
You know what?
You know what they used to call book you.
Yeah.
They say, but they told me they was gonna book me when I got to quit. The CEO guy came and said, they said, man, they gonna book you when you get to quit. And I said, wow, what you talking about? I said, man, you got the homies fighting on the yard and all that. That's what we do, but guess what? I ain't there yet, but you right here. What you saying?
But people don't understand that. If you didn't live it, you didn't live the beginning of what we talking about, you would never understand.
Never understand.
You know, me and Kev Mac was talking, you got to did time with me to speak on me.
That's right.
Because you wasn't in Tracy with me, you wasn't in Folsom with me, you wasn't in one building with me, you wasn't on that yard with them 35 Mexican Mafias. I'm the only black cat on the yard with them. You can't speak on nothing about me.
You can't.
You get what I'm saying? You have to say, okay, I went Rock, this is what Rock didn't do, I didn't do.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Now we can have a discussion.
We just left, right? We just left the lumberjack with Mr. Jackson 4Ds. Now we did a lot of time together in the hole, in the shoot with the AC and all that. It's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Because you do know, you have been around me, or you have experienced the things that I have, and you know people I know. You know what I mean? But if you don't, it's no. But a lot of homies, this is what I don't know if you see it. It's a lot of homies that will criticize these young dudes because they're not like us. And this is what I say: why would I compare somebody else with me?
Yeah.
Why, I'm minimizing myself now. If I'm saying anybody could be like Rocchead, they can.
But we can't compare. We talk about two different animals, two different times.
Too many times.
and I think people are lost because they can't tell you what you went through.
Yeah.
Unless they was right there with you toe to toe.
That's right. That's right.
You get what I'm saying?
That's right.
But from 78 to 83 was a pivotal time for us Crips that was in state prison. It was a very pivotal time because either we was going to make ourselves or break ourselves. And then you had structures. Initially, the Blue Magic, Consolidated.
Yes, sir. We spoke on that.
And he controlled that shit.
Come on, man. That's what I said. They was more gangsters.
Anybody.
They was more gangsters.
Magic
that was it. I was the one.
I wasn't part of it. But when Blue Magic and CCO, the birth of CCO and Blue Magic came together.
Consolidated.
And the both of them, the bulk of the Blue Magic came aboard with CCO. Not everybody. But the bulk of them.
Yeah.
And then we had a machine in motion.
Yes, sir.
And in the beginning, I keep telling people, even when I came to the county jail, don't mention CCO, big homie. The homies don't like that word. Because they wasn't educated about it. They hear people always talk bad about something. Let's talk about the goodness. Because without that, it would be nothing. We'd have been lost and wiped out.
California prisons was now experiencing major problems with the Crips, but Soledad was not one of them. In order to weed out the problems, prisoners were sent to various prisons throughout California. According to prison reports and newspaper articles, it was now known that members of the Crips had become BGF or believed to have membership in the BGF. The Crips that remained had to fend without structure. With the formation of the Consolidated Crips Organization in 1985, the Crips could now challenge the Big Four prison gangs, the Black Guerrilla Family, the Mexican Mafia, the Aryan Brotherhood, and the Nostra Familia, according to the Attorney General.
But because of that structure, it taught me how to read, quiet period, do book reports. Man, I never went to high school. Like I keep telling people, I went as far as 7th grade.
Exactly.
I don't have no fucking education. I had to start reading books and do a book report. I asked the home, what's a book report? I didn't know. they said, write down what you read about.
Yeah.
It was educational for me. It helped my growth. I know I'd have been dead by now.
Turn off the TV, quiet time, study, learning Swahili. I speak Swahili, man.
Yeah.
I'm self-educated, bro, on all different levels because I'm ordained as a pastor. I read the Bible more than I do now. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, and when brothers like you speak, and I was talking to Trek, brothers like you speak and brothers that's articulate, that took that time and instead of complaining and bitch about that time, use that time to exercise. We was in the best shape of our lives.
Yes. Not like now, but
you had to exercise. And Quentin, if you didn't exercise, you was gonna get hit. You had to have a doctor's excuse, and you would have to stand in the middle of the yard.
You know what's so funny? I was at Whiskey Shrill, Barrier.
Yeah.
And one of the homeboys from neighborhood called the Crib T. And then the T said, "You don't remember you saved me, Rocchead? I had an illness and I couldn't exercise, and they was gonna stab me because you got in front of everybody, so y'all not gonna hit that homie." And you were right. You had to exercise.
You had to exercise. Yeah.
But the one thing I implemented in Folsom was those who wasn't part of that structure, that CCO, they didn't have to. But they gotta respect it. They gotta respect our boundaries.
No, they respect
But
the
the reason why I did that, because I felt that if I'm part of paperwork and you're not, as long as they respect us, I'm cool with that. But we're not gonna hit people and make them get in our line. I didn't feel that was right.
Yeah.
But again, without structure, without knowing, that's why I tell people, and they say, man, how did why all these youngsters like me? And I'm talking about youngsters now in their 40s. Back then, they was babies.
They babies, yeah.
So they liked me because I stood up for the youngsters. So I didn't have that for me.
No, you didn't. I was telling them about that.
You didn't have that.
They didn't know who I was. They didn't know what people did.
And then the older guys who supposed to be quote unquote big homies, they was using drugs, or they was worried about themselves, their reputation, or how can they hustle or get up under my wing. They were so worried about the other bullshit. They wasn't worried about, let me really groom and show Rocchead, or show Jesse James, or show Whiskey, or show All Rainbow, or show C. Dave. Let's just teach these guys. So Rainbow, C. Dave, Booth and Raymond, we all taught each other. You get what I'm saying? They was my guys. And without that education, man, without that structure, I don't think I'd be here right now today.
And like you said something real critical. You said in the beginning, because when it started in the beginning, I don't believe that it was ever going to be corrupted or anything like that. I just think that it was us reaching the ones that wanted the structure, the ones that didn't have the structure, because Daddy wasn't home. When we got a part of that structure, we began to like it. You know what I'm saying? Even when you first started exercising and Quentin and all that, I didn't want to do it at first, but then I started to like it because I knew I had to do that stuff to survive. And it just made sense to me. Why not study? Why?
What you do when John slid that paperwork?
Well, I slid it right back and said, what?
After you read it.
But the thing about it is, you don't know what you read. You think someone giving you a book. The book went up on my. I opened it up. Welcome to the first thing that welcome to the. I'm like, sure. I didn't know what job I meant. All I knew it wasn't the Crip. So I slid it right back.
So what would be the reason why somebody would deny that's how they operate?
I mean, because they might be talking about themselves. Only a person's that. But again, one of the persons I hear deny it, he went to prison in 84, 85, from my understanding. But if he wasn't in Tracy then, from 78 to 82, he would never know.
He would never know.
You was in Tracy.
It was like that when I got there. He was the BTF ran Tracy. But let me tell you, it was an article. I don't know if Rock's seen it, but it was like in 83, right? It was a newspaper article that came and said, who runs the pen? And then it said Crips.
During this time in Folsom, a bunch of young tough Crips emerged as a major force in California's gang-plagued prisons. Even though the other four more established prison gangs continued to draw public attention, it was the Crips who, according to the Department of Corrections, probably had more members than all the other gangs put together, but their numerical strength was offset by poor organization.
Like he said, a pivotal time, an educational, a rider time. We had riders, bro. And that's one thing I'm thankful for. I know it was hard. I got stabbed, beat up, dragged out, spit out, booed, whatever. But at the same time, I learned the right way. So I didn't mind about the bashing and whatever I had to go through for me to survive to where I was going. You know what I mean? Because if, like my bullies, like Dennis Johnson, all them niggas, I used to run for the bullet and they come down the street. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not mad at them. You know what I mean? When I see them, I go, what's up, homie? Now they may be tripping over me, but I'm not tripping on them because they prepare me for what I need. And that's the only best way to do it because you're going to go through it anyway, man. But
about Dennis from Harlem.
Yeah, them dudes, man. I was the little fat dude.
CDC quickly realized the Crips was their own worst enemy. The sheer numbers of incarcerated Crips, about 200 in San Quentin alone, for example, presented the potential of a powerful group. However, you had a whole bunch of different types of Crips, and many of them couldn't get along.
But at the same time, like Rock said, that structure is what gets you. Learn that structure. If somebody's using something against you, why not learn what they know? You know what I mean?
It's like when I first went to Palm Hall in Chino, and the BJF said, such and such said all the Crips got to be on the quiet period. The BJF said it. You can't talk at certain times. I said, that's y'all fucking quiet period. I was a kid. Nigga, I used to tell all the homies, who would talk to them? They do 24 hours. They do 24 hours talking over the tier. Oh, I was an asshole. And we didn't do 24 hours. And then went to the yard, they tried to make a move on me. I was ready. Said, let's do this. But again, I didn't know no better that even their quiet period would actually help me. But I didn't understand that at that time. I didn't care for it.
But he had the heart.
You know
That's how I was. I had the heart. Like when I first met the Monster, we was in Chino, and he spoke to me over the tier. He said, don't call me Monster, call me Shanyika. I said, well, I'm not gonna call you at all. Nah. We was just over there saying cuz. No. He was like, you stupid.
Did you run across Rocchead?
No, we never bumped heads.
So you guys didn't bump heads to that Crip in Blood Made in America?
Yeah.
That's where you guys met.
Yeah,
Can you guys elaborate on that documentary a little bit?
Baron Davis reached out to me and the producer and asked me, can I get a lot of Crips and Bloods to come? He wanted to do his thing. And I felt that it may be a way, before I heard of Kev Mac, anything, it may be a way to get some of our stories out. Everybody was part of somebody's organization. And I'm sure the guys that I was getting, the 3 other guys, both got some people. I got maybe 80% of the guys that showed up. And I thought it would have been a good thing. A lot of the really good stuff, they didn't show, like, in most cases. You know what I mean?
There's some unseen footage out there.
Oh, it's a whole lot.
Whole lot.
Whole lot.
Who has it?
Baron BD.
I got some of it.
Do we got a part 2 coming out?
We shot some. Because it was, who was it at first? Quincy Jones' son. Yeah. We got a lot of that footage. You know what they were doing?
Tell us how you got involved with that part.
I'm going to tell you. This is what they were doing. At first, they were going to people's hood with McDonald's and beer.
Yeah.
And they wasn't paying anybody.
Yeah. I got everybody paid.
So my homeboy, Dada, Digital Don, he was the one that was filming it. So he was like, calling, like they always talking, then Nigo would tell me, and then they come over there. And I told the homies, don't sign the paper. When I did my interview, they told us, I'm not signing shit.
Wait a minute, they literally came to hoods with McDonald's and beer.
McDonald's and beer.
Yeah.
Not the Big Mac, the small. The little 35-cent burger, they ain't 35 cents. The little dry.
Y'all should have robbed him and kicked
That was just there. But he has a lot of that footage. Because we never gave it back to him.
It was a lot.
A lot of good stuff, man. So when we get together and do something, we're going to do something.
Some really good stuff I think y'all would like.
Yeah.
It was because that people was fresh in their minds at that time.
Right.
We got drama in there, drive-by shootings, all like.
Yeah, got some shit in there. But they eventually paid mostly everybody about $2 to $3 grand.
Yeah, they start paying. Yeah, that's what Nico called me and said they paid. That's when Stacy Peralta got involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had you talking. Oh, white boy, had you talking.
Because again, like you said, we put our foot down. I mean, you're not gonna use our shit. Motherfucker ain't getting paid.
Ain't been paid, yeah. They paid me $3 grand just for pictures.
You know, but no, without structure, though, Kev, it
wouldn't be nothing.
It would have been chaos.
Just like in a regular family.
See, but y'all gotta understand this. So I say it again. The system dictates everything, and at that time, the BGF was part of the system. The Southern message at that time, in the late '70s, they wasn't as powerful. So what? For some reason, for the life of me, I still try to figure this out. They took every Northern Mexican writer off every main line and put them in West Hall and Tracy.
I remember that.
They put them all there, isolated them from everybody.
Yep.
It was 6 blacks. I was one of the blacks with them. After I knocked that BGF down, I was one of the blacks. They taught me all my military circuit. They showed me everything. They showed how to break a body down, whatever.
Slackened. Unlike the Crips, the other established prison gangs was tightly organized with elaborate blood oaths and initiation rites demanding unconditional obedience and silence on pain of death. But as the gang membership expanded, their internal security slackened, paving the way for a new generation of gangs.
And then they would take these Northern Mexicans, and they would send 15 to San Quentin, 15 to folks.
Yeah.
They get wiped out.
Setting them up.
And BGF at that time, and I have an issue with the John Mott, when they hit me for hitting that white boy. When I got that dude back, a phone call, I don't know what happened. All I know was they sent 15 BGLs from San Quentin to Tracy. That's how inmates was moving back then.
Can I ask you something? What would be the motive behind the CDC breaking up the North and setting them up like that?
But it backfired. Look what Southern Mexicans are now.
What was the point, though?
We don't know. That's the crazy shit. Most of the Northern Mexicans up north, most prison at that time was up north. Everything was up north, but the North Dangers was different. They were a different kind of machine.
They different.
But their thing was family.
Yes, sir.
And Southerners was more drugs.
All the time I did with a Northern Mexican was in the hole. They was right.
But they kept, I'm telling you,
they wasn't no joke, bro.
They kept them locked up. They would release 10 to 15 and pop up somewhere. Yeah. And that morning, either they get 2 up or they tear something up. They was an elite force. But to separate, divide and conquer, you know what I'm saying? Divide and conquer. That's what they did with the North Dangers. Yeah. It was divide and conquer.
Yes, sir.
Why? I have no idea.
Now here's another view of what he just said, though. The prison politics was anytime that we was, like when we were stabbing the police in AC, I stabbed 2 of them up there, they would change the conditions. They would move things around. In other words, they'll integrate the yard.
Yeah.
So now you're not focusing on the police, now you're focusing on each other. You know what I mean? So they would do little stuff like that. I done been in a position where they'll come to me and ask me, you know, say your homeboys is tripping up here, and I'll go, well, move me up there. And I'll go up there and straighten it out, and then, you know, so.
It seems like blacks was the only race that focused on police.
Of course. Because we the only one that had a real history with the police. We broke all that in.
Oh, yeah.
That's where it started with us, slavery from all the way up. We never been cool with the police, never. But I can't understand how you shoot niggas on Instagram in their car and you letting police kill niggas with impunity. That's what I can't understand, because I wasn't scared of the police. Rocchead wasn't either.